Three, two, one. We are live on the Zach Homol Show. I have a very special guest with me today. Really, really good friend of mine, someone I've been mentoring over the last few years. You guys heard a lot about him. He's my youngest guest ever on the show.
Yo.
What's up, Alex?
What's happening?
This is Alex Skinner. When did me and you link up, Alex? It's like 2 years ago.
When I was 15, I went to a seminar that Zach had during the summer. He opened in the spring, had the seminar in the summer. I went. I loved it, fell in love.
You couldn't drive?
No, I couldn't drive. I told him, as soon as I get my license, I'll be here every day.
And I would always hear this shit.
Yeah. So I actually, followed through with it. I got my license in December, was there every day.
And how far do you drive every day, Alex?
It's 30 to 45 minutes.
Every day, one way to come be a part of Iron Valley Barbell.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool, man. I love you at the gym. So Alex has been interning, I guess, working for Iron Valley Barbell and working with Iron Valley Barbell essentially since he started training with us. He kind of hopped right on the team and was a training partner of mine and always helped out around the gym. And so this last semester of his schooling, he got to do a internship. So he goes to school half the day and he comes hang out with us half the day. What a cool job.
Yeah, exactly.
So Alex has this questionnaire sheet he has to do for school. And he's like, do you have this questionnaire sheet to do for school? We were supposed to go to a luncheon yesterday. Me and him didn't make it to the luncheon. Because Alex was like, hey, I didn't know you were supposed to come with me.
I thought it was just a, intern deal.
So essentially now we're like, hey, dude, we can make this actually really cool. Alex has his 5 questions prepared. He's going to ask me the questions, and rather than me answering like a short format and giving a really basic answer, I'm going to let him dig into my mind a little bit and answer his questions that he has for the business and Iron Valley Barbell. And also I want Alex to kind of explain a little bit through his perspective too, because everyone has a different perspective of how they see Iron Valley Barbell. Even if it's kind of similar, there are different perspectives. Like how a guy might see it when he's 40 is going to vary a lot from a guy who's 18 years old and how they view Iron Valley Barbell and they see our mission and our culture, and really also just how the community is seeing us. Alex is reaching a whole new community that I'm not directly reaching, especially in Danville with the schools. Alex is really involved in schools and athletics, and Alex is reaching a demographic that I'm not reaching right now. So I'd like to also see just how Iron Valley Barbell is being perceived throughout the community. So, Alex, take over the show.
All right. Question number 1 for Zach is, what separates Iron Valley Barbell from the next garage door type gym down the road?
What first originally separated Iron Valley Barbell from the first garage door down the street is there was no other ones.
Yeah.
In Indianapolis, the only reason I opened Iron Valley Barbell is there was no other gyms that I could train in that had the atmosphere or the type of culture I was looking for like Iron Valley Barbell had. Back home in West Virginia, we had all these type of gyms. This was the type of gym that was in every town. A mom and pop, locally owned gym, garage door, no heat in the summertime, cold as hell in the wintertime. And then there's just a bunch of guys in there training and getting stronger. So originally there was no other gyms. But then what started to mold is as fitness continues to pick up, especially in our community is growing and fitness is becoming more of a thing now. There's different resources that's offering this and making this available, such as Indie Fitness Mag. So it's connecting different gyms and people with the type of gyms that are better for them. So now more styles of gyms like Iron Valley Barbell are starting to establish, which I think is great for the community because there needs to be more. I think that should be the only type of gyms because I know the value that can be provided in a small gym. Mm-hmm. But what separates our gym from any other gym most definitely is the people. It's our culture. When you come in Iron Valley Barbell, the gym's not very big. We're 2,700 square foot. It's intentional, too. Alex, I'll never go over 3,700 square foot because I believe we'll lose the culture. The culture is when you walk in, Alex, you know everybody at the gym. Everybody knows you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows each other. There's no thieves. There's no stealing. There's no arguing back and forth. Everyone's there, and they're there for each other. What separates Iron Valley Barbell from anybody else is our culture. It's our mission. It's like if you guys have ever saw the movie The Greatest Showman, a bunch of misfits who get together and get along really well, that's us.
Yeah, the way I always describe it to people and, they ask me what it is and what makes it unique is I say that it's just like a sports team. It's like a football team or a basketball team, and everyone can relate to that. And I explain to them how the gym's not very big. So everyone in there, you have no other option but to get along with people you train with or work with, whatever it is. And so that's what, I think is really cool.
It is. It offers more. It almost offers, like you're saying, that team atmosphere. Everyone's like, you guys like CrossFit? I'm like, no, but also we have that like environment where it's more family, group oriented, but everyone's in different groups. So we have, Tommy's over here running a program. getting in shape for the Army coming up, and me and you're doing strongman exercises, but we're all working in together.
Yeah.
Just because we're on the same training crew, or it can be someone who just first day at the gym, they just want to hop in on deadlifts. Hell yeah, come hop in, man. There's no, I'll be done in 10 minutes. There's none of that bullshit at our gym. Like, you hop in, you're here. Let's work out. Let's not waste time. Just load the plates off. It takes 2 minutes to put them on.
The gym flows.
And the gym flows. It becomes its own organism, its own energy. When you walk in Iron Valley, there's an energy as soon as you walk in. You feel like you want to be better, like you want to do more. It pulls that out of you. And that was something I was very passionate from the beginning, was the culture. I never tried to sell people in Iron Valley Barbell. I never bring people in. It's like, hey, check out the gym. This is what I do, and this is what I can offer you. But I walk people in, and I'm the worst sales guy to everyone on my team. Here's the gym. That's all I say to them. I don't say anything else to them. Here's the gym. If you have any questions on equipment, let me know. Here's why. People that walk into our gym, because it's so niched, it's so different than any other gym. You either walk in and because you've been a part of something like that before, or because you saw it on social media or on the internet somewhere, and that's the type of hardcore style gym you wanted. And by hardcore, I mean no saunas, no treadmills, no towel service. That's what I mean by hardcore.
Yeah.
Loud music, no heat, no air conditioner in the summertime. Door open, walls sweating. You either walk in, you say, I'm home, or you walk in, you're like, what the hell is this place?
Yeah.
And the people who say, what the hell is this place, I could probably persuade 50% of them to still sign up, because I could offer them a lot of value, because I know a lot about lifting weights. But that starts to disrupt my culture, people who don't want to be there. I don't want to put people on contracts who don't want to be at my gym. I want to have as many members signed up for my gym that actually go to my gym. I don't want to have 20,000 members and only 5 people show up.
Yeah.
That must mean it's not a very good culture. It's not very fun. It's got people signing contracts. That's like more of a big Globo gym would do. I'm looking to sign people up and, hey, come on, let's get to the gym. I got a camera guy who takes pictures for them, so they put them on their social media channel, and he does it for free. I want them to be a part of our culture, be a part of what we have going on. We have charity events. I want people to invest themselves fully in our mission and what we have going forward. That's the
awesome.
difference with us.
Exactly. And so the second part of that question would be, how did you create that culture?
So I think I kind of answered that. I created it by not selling people.
Yeah.
I try to hold myself with a level of integrity throughout the entirety of my business. I've failed multiple times, and what I happen to do when I fail people, I try to make sure that I make up for it the best that I possibly can. So, for instance, this is just a great one. It's happened to me pretty recently. I had a guy who follows all of my stuff. He's been buying ebooks from me since the first ebook I've dropped. He buys every product we put out. He hits me up, hey, Zach, I got a new phone. All my ebooks are gone. By chance, could you email them over to me, or do I have to repurchase? I'm like, no, of course not. I'll email you back over the books. I know he purchases them. I see his name come through. I do it, and then I forget to send the ebooks. And 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by, and he hits me back up. Hey, Zach, don't want to bother you, but I didn't have those ebooks come through. And I immediately feel so guilty. Because this guy is the first person to buy whenever I drop the books. And in that moment, I'm filled with like, man, you want to be apologetic, whatever it is. But I straight up make up for it. I said, hey, man, that's my apologies. I just must have missed the email. That's my fault. I neglected to get back to it. I sent him the ebooks. I gave him the next ebook for free, and I shipped him out a shirt too with a thank you note of all of his all of his efforts that he's provided to support our business.
Yeah.
So I tried to make because when I first started in business, I didn't know anything about it, Alex. Like, I was a coal miner, so I don't know how to operate a business. And since I don't know how to operate a business, I know I'm going to make mistakes. So when I make mistakes, instead of being prideful, I just own it. 100%.
And that's like the best thing you can do. People love that when you
just
admit it. I messed up.
And you know what this guy did? I just watched it. He bought the ebook anyways.
Yeah.
I gave it to him for free, and he bought it anyway because he just wants to support it. And it just goes to show you, by just setting your pride down, man, I think that's we can all learn a little bit from that. And I think that's something that I've been really focusing on, and that's been helping our business a lot.
Yeah. Side note, this isn't a question, but how do you put your pride away like that?
Oh, man, it's how I do, and this is how I started doing it, is I believe we're so prideful. If you're a Republican or you're a Democrat and somebody says something about you, we don't have enough emotional intelligence to not react aggressively, right? Because we view ourselves as that person, Republican or Democrat, and everything it stands for. So whenever we're so prideful, we view ourselves as we're whole in the moment. And whenever someone, might say that we did something that wasn't appropriate or wasn't good business or whatever it looked like, if you're prideful, it's because you believe you're whole, like you can't make a mistake. I'm under the understanding that I'm growing. I'm nowhere near the person that I'm going to be, because who I was when I was 20 is so much different than the person I am now when I'm 27. And who I am when I'm 37 is going to be so much different than the person I am when I'm 27. So when I make mistakes now, I know that it's not because I'm a bad person. It's because I'm a learning and I'm a growing person. So I take it on the chin and say, I got to be prideful of who I am now. This is just this. I'm en route to becoming the person I'm destined to be. So I can forgive myself for those mistakes, and it's simply I just make it right. It's even if it means eating an extra $20 shirt or whatever that looks like, or a hoodie. Like it's just money, and I don't put all of my happiness on the dollar, which really saves a lot of it saves a lot of, let's say, emotional investment in money for me. I could run my business a lot more freely when I'm so invested in the dollar amount, rather invested in the result that I can get with the person.
Yeah, definitely. I like that, though.
That's cool.
Going off that, the pride thing, like I always kind of look at it like from an outside perspective. Like you said, you pull yourself out and think, okay, if I'm 37, I'm just going to look back on this and see that it's just a part of the mission. Mm-hmm. It's a part of your journey.
Yeah.
You grow, you mess up, you learn along the way. So the second question off this list would be, if you could give 3 tips of advice to 18-year-old Zach Homol, what would they be and why?
3 tips of advice to 18-year-old Zach Homol and why? This is hard because I'm so stuck in my way of knowing that everything I went through has led me to becoming who I am now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect. It's like, that goes right back to the pride thing that we're talking about.
I really wouldn't tell myself much because I wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
I would be like, I ain't listening to you. Like, I'm doing it my way. When I was 18, you couldn't tell me shit. I was not like you guys. You guys are very open and you listen very well and you take my advice on things. I was never really like that. But if I were to accept advice, it would say, the first one would be is continually to do everything that you're doing 110%. That's something I already did very well, but I stressed it a lot of the times, meaning I didn't think that I was ever going to get a reward from actually putting forth all my hard work. I was like, when's my reward going to come? When I'm busting my ass to the gym for 10 years straight and not getting noticed and working 12 hours a day in the coal mines and still training every day. It was hard to stay patient, you know what I mean, with that. So to give myself that patience to know that, hey, there is light at the end of the tunnel, that would probably be one.
Yeah, especially in the instant gratification world that we live in.
Yeah.
So get this now. But you need to pull yourself back and look at the big vision.
The bigger picture. I didn't realize, actually, that there even was a bigger picture even at the time. I was from such a closed-minded community, and nobody was really doing the things that I'm doing like we're doing right now. Nobody was getting paid to talk on a radio station or a podcast. Yeah. Nobody was training people and getting paid for it, or all the local gyms wasn't really making any money because there wasn't a lot of people to fund the gym. It was a small gym in a small community. So nothing really prospered a ton. So when you saw that all the time, you kind of just thought, like, this is kind of what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. And I just got to do my best per my situation. I didn't realize that all this other stuff out here existed. And I got to Indianapolis, and I got here, I'm like, there's so much opportunity here. Like, my town is like 1/24th the size of Brownsburg, the town I live in now. And it's just a small town on the outside of Indianapolis. And I just saw all the opportunity and the potential here in the community, and I thrive off that, dude. And I think I would tell myself then, like, hey, the way you're thinking now, and even though people think you're crazy, keep thinking that way. And again, that's just something I already did anyways. I was already thinking that I knew people thought I was crazy for wanting to become more of myself. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I have a hard time answering that question. That's actually, I get that question asked a lot.
Yeah.
But what I do know is when I'm with guys like you and Tommy, and I'm at the gym and helping mentor and train you guys, I see a lot of things that I'm talking into you guys, and the life that I'm speaking into you guys. I feel like I'm speaking life into a younger me, as far as like helping you guys with decisions, as far as like going to pursue college and going to the Army, and putting you guys with Dylan, people's been through it, and placing other mentors in your guys' life and be able to speak life into you. I wish I had that, a little bit more of that. I probably would have even been a bit more receptive if it was like a bigger brother thing, like being you have.
Yeah, exactly. So I was really, I've been thankful since day one that the way Zach took me in, like a older brother would, and let me, some eager 16-year-old in the gym wanted to train, and I remember it like clear as day, him and Dillion were in the back deadlifting, pulling through bands, and the big gray ones, and they're like, Zach goes, you want to train with us? It's like, sure, hurry up, get your shoes on. Ran over there, threw my shoes on, just hopped in, and that's how it all.
It's been like that for
began.
3 years now. He runs in, puts his shoes on, and hops right in.
Exactly.
It's been so cool, man, to watch that, and to bring Tommy along throughout the process too, and just get more people connected to what we have going on. But it was really easy to coach you and to train you. You're very coachable. You're very trainable.
Nice.
You want it, and I say this all the time. If you want to be the president of the United States, you'll be the president of the United States. You can be anything you want to be, and I truly see that in you. And when I see that in you, I'm gonna put a spotlight on it all the time. So wherever you go in your future, it doesn't matter if you go to Butler, if you drop out of Butler, whatever you do, you'll know that I always support you 1,000% because I know you can be anything you want to be. And I saw that from the first day you walked in the gym.
It means a lot.
Dude, the first day you walked in the gym, you showed me this. There was a grip competition, and you out-gripped everybody else with heavier weights too as a 16, 15-year-old kid. What grip is, though, is sheer willpower and determination. You have it at 15 years old, you're going to be a wrecking ball when you're 18. And take over the world. Anything you want to do is literally at your grasp. And having people in your life that can identify that and to showcase that is what's going to get you to that next level. For instance, I have a good friend of mine, Jay. He just needs someone to tell him, hey, you're really good at nutrition. You should write an ebook. He wrote an ebook. He's selling it in 12 countries. Wow. He just needs someone to point out that he was good at it.
Exactly.
A lot of us just need people to identify it in our life. And you feel like there's no one in your life identifying, you got to change your circle. If you want support others.
Yeah.
Don't talk negatively about people at the coffee stand. Speak positively. They're going to start speaking positively back at you.
Let's start with the little things.
It's the littlest things. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I always have interaction with you, Alex, and it's always negative, you're probably not going to talk to me very long. No. Why you kept coming back to Iron Valley Barbell?
It was like, I don't know. It's you can't even put it into words. Just the way how unique the gym is, how it's so welcoming. Like here's Zach, this big tattooed, like kind of intimidating, scary looking dude, and Dillion, same type of deal, but they're like some of the nicest guys you'd ever meet.
It's crazy what you find in places like that.
Yeah.
The last place you'd expect it.
Yeah, and just the welcoming feeling of a brotherhood.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to be able to create that. That's why I love it. That's why I say it's like the greatest showman.
Yeah. Like,
hey, we're just normal people too. We have feelings just like everybody else.
Yeah.
We just like to scream real loud and lift real heavy weights.
Yeah.
We like to headbutt bars. Yeah, maybe we're a little different for a couple hours a day. But that's how we stay sane in society.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, Alex. I'm ready for the next question.
All right.
This is fun. This is going fun.
Next one is, how do you define success? And is success something that's obtainable for everyone? And even the average Joe, if he doesn't think in his mind that he's worth anything greater than his current situation now, how do you pull that out of him?
Ooh, I love that. That's a great question. Let's break it down. Let's compartmentalize it. How do I view success? This has changed 100,000 times. I feel like I finally got it right. Mm-hmm. So how I'm defining success right now is by the people that's closest to me. So if the people that are closest to me are doing well, and the people who are closest to me are the guys who run my team, which support my business, which also are employed or contracted through my business. So the better they do, the better I know I'm doing as their leader. When they're doing better in their strength journey, I know I'm doing better as a leader. So how I'm viewing my success right now is by the success of those closest to me. The second way I'm viewing my success right now is the amount of time I can have away from my job while still increasing my profits.
I love that.
So I'm trying to work less and make more money, like everybody else in the world is trying to do, except for I'm learning how to do it. I went from working literally 20 hours a day to now that I can work less than a 40-hour a week work week. Do I work that? No, usually 60 because I love what I do. But I'm able to get, if I want to go hang out for a day and not work, I can have the freedom and the opportunity to do that. That's how I'm viewing my success, by having that freedom to be like, yo, Charlie, let's go go-karting today. Hey, let's go ride bikes out of Eagle Creek today. Hey, let's go day drink today. Let's take a day off. Whatever it looks like, to be able to have that sort of freedom is how I'm starting to view my success. Money's great. I want to be able to have money. I want to be able to provide for my friends and my family. But at what cost? Does that mean I can work 40 hours a week and make X amount of dollars? We put a number on it, $300,000 a year, and work 40 hours a week. Well, if I had to work 70 hours a week to make $450,000 a year, is it really worth making that extra $150,000 to have to work that much excess hours a week and be away from the things that I'd rather be doing? Mm-hmm. That's a question I think everyone needs to ask herself. What's the next part to that?
The next part would be, is everyone capable of achieving success? Do you think that's something that could happen in every?
Oh, I believe
one
so,
of
and
those?
here's why. Because I think everyone's view of success is different. However, you've been sold the idea of success is the house, the car, the money,
American dream.
the American dream. You've been sold that idea of what success was. So no, not everybody will reach success because they're trying to reach a standard that was not created for them. The standard of success for them is, hey, I really want to go to culinary art school, and I'm probably not going to make a lot of money doing it, but it's my passion. I really enjoy doing it. And every minute I'm going to be doing it, I'll be enjoying myself. It doesn't even have to be your passion. Maybe it's something just a hobby. It's something you enjoy doing that you could see yourself doing. When you start falling into things that you enjoy doing, you're going to have a lot more happiness. When you have a lot more happiness doing the things you're doing, I'm a big on energy. You create more positive energy. If you don't feel energy in rooms, you have negative energy. You're one of the problems. There's such thing as energy in rooms, and you walk into a room and you can feel positive energy, you're going to be doing better in a room. That's why Iron Valley Barbell does so well, because there's so much positive energy. But if you walk with your head down all the time, you can just feel that person when they walk by, right? They're pouty, they're mopey, their head's down. But if you walk by someone who's skipping and they're smiling, they're clicking their fingers, you can feel their energy, right? It's uplifting. So when you're doing things you don't want to do, your energy is always down, negative. How do you expect to do better when you're always feeling down because you're working in a field that you might not want to be in?
And how do you expose to like the average Joe who, maybe he does want to go to culinary school, or he does want to be an artist, or he wants to lift weights and get paid? How do you show him that there is another way? Kind of like how you were talking about, you came from a small town, you didn't know, but you just kind of did.
You have to believe in yourself. That it comes down to that, and it's the most cliche thing, but people don't. I believe in myself. Well, if you do, then don't worry about asking anyone else's opinions about it. It was hard enough to convince myself to believe in my dream. I wasn't even going to try to convince anybody else. I'm like, y'all, what it took for me to figure this dream out, and I went out through all the scenarios, and I thought it was going to be extremely difficult, but I'm like, shit, I can actually make it, though. I wasn't going to try to explain it to everybody else. They wasn't going to understand. It wasn't their vision to see. Once you see your vision, you don't have to explain it to your mom or dad, even though you think you have to because they really want you to be a lawyer or a doctor. And I think that's great, and I think they want the best for you. But if you're going to wake up every day and hate your life being a lawyer and a doctor, you end up resenting your parents. And that's probably the last thing you or them want. It's thinking on a much bigger scale. It's thinking about you, yourself, and who you are as a person and where you could see yourself going in the next 10, 15 years when you're not asking information from outside influences. You eventually have to start making your own decisions. And most people never do. Most people are living and working a life that they never chose. They had a baby, so they end up getting into the work field because they had to hurry up and do it, because they hurry up and make money. And they started working something they didn't really like. It was construction, but at the end of the day, it paid the bills. And it's 10 years later, and they feel like they can't start anything new because they don't get 2 weeks vacation. They have to start working a year before they get 2 weeks paid vacation until they're stuck for life. They go to college because, hey, I really want to go to culinary art school, but the parent says, I really want you to go to law school, and you go in it, and next thing you start doing it, and you get out, and you graduate, and you're pumped, and you're excited, and everyone's happy for you. You did what your parents wanted. You talked yourself into it because the money was great, and it sounded good, and you got through law school after all, so hell, maybe that's what you're supposed to be doing, but next thing you know, you're there, and you're a lawyer. You don't really like your job, but you keep getting paid a few $1,000s a week, so you stay. But you're miserable Monday through Friday?
It's not success.
How do you view success, Alex Skinner?
It's funny, I've never really thought of this, but I guess it would be if you wake up every day happy. You love what you're doing. You love going to work, spending your time at work with people that you like and enjoy. I mean, I couldn't imagine going to work and hating the people that I'm around.
Most people couldn't imagine going to work and liking the people they're around. That's how much different your situation is than everybody else. Most people can't go to work and imagine being happy. Out of every study that I've ran, every poll I've ran on my social media channels, it's always 75% people don't like it and 25% do like their job or their career or whatever they're in.
All right, so in the health and fitness industry where it's full of fake plates and photoshopped abs and, posing by the cars and the big houses, how do you stay unique to yourself and your following? Organic, how do you be you?
Because I'm just a coal miner from West Virginia. I'm not none of that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not even going to try to be it. I'm not going to try to stand in front of no car or lift any weight that I didn't lift. I said too much integrity. than doing that. I would have been called out immediately by the homies back. You know what I mean? What are you doing,
Exactly.
idiot? Don't try to fake. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wasn't
'Cause
raised
we
that
would
way.
be the first ones
Exactly.
call you out.
You guys wouldn't take that. You couldn't.
No.
You wouldn't follow me. You know, you wouldn't be a part of my mission if that was.
Well, why do you think so many people are drawn to those types of figures?
Oh, dude, it's controversy. People love Why does the news sell?
Yeah.
Because some people think it's real and some people don't. And they love the negativity, you know what I mean? And that's what fuels on those pages. But also, when you see a big jack dude lifting weights, whether they're real or not real, it's still just appealing. So you have a crowd that's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How'd you do it? You must have worked really hard. And you have a crowd that's like, you're a liar and you're a cheat. You know, it's just like, and so it just breeds within it that community of positivity and negativity just clash, and they work for the betterment of the account that is either good or bad. At the end of the day, I always deleted negative comments off my social media, majority at least. I've always, and maybe if I looked them on there, I could have created a little bit more buzz around the things that I do. But it's just not who I am as a person. I don't like the negativity. I don't care if people like me, but if you don't like me, get to know me before you decide to not like me. You know, don't just put a post on my social media. And it's funny when you start talking about social media. It's really now, I would say, you know, probably the class under your class, maybe like the 4 years below your class, is probably about the first class that actually grew up in social media world, like where the parents actually had social media too.
Yeah. I always think about the video with the little baby, and she was so used to swiping on the iPad that she had a magazine in front of her. She was trying to swipe the pages.
Yeah.
She didn't realize the real thing.
Right. Yeah. And when it comes, it's crazy that we're coming into this, but it's also very, very unique. And there's a new wave of wisdom coming, and the wave of wisdom comes from our generation, the generation that had social media first. So I was one of the first people on social media. I was like one of the first people on MySpace, and then we had AOL. My away message was always, I'm out lifting, running, and boxing. That's my away message, you know. And it was cool when I had my top friends, and I'm right on the Facebook game, and I was one of the first people on Snapchat when people were only sending naked pictures on it. I was putting out content on it. Like, I've been on the pages for quite some time. So I understand how to learn and to navigate them, how to market off of them, and how to actually make businesses out of them. But also to the point where I've understood how to learn, and I've dug into the psychology of social media, if you will, and the organism that it is. And I watch how people react to situations, and it's been really positive for me to be able to kind of make content based around the information that I'm seeing on social media, how I'm seeing people get worked up based off certain topics. A lot of my discussions are based off of information that I'm finding through social media, because at the end of the day, that's our form of communication. Social media is just as powerful and prevalent form of communication than word to word is now. People are communicating at such a fast rate on social media from all around the world.
Such a wide scale and great impact.
It's crazy. But what we're heading into now is there's going to be therapists are now going to start needing to take informational classes on how to navigate kids through the social media world and bullying through social media, and their parents. You know, I see kids' parents putting information on Facebook about how bad their kid is, and their kid's like 12 or 13. Like, what if your kid's friends see this and see that your kid wet the bed when he was 13? How embarrassing that'd be. And the parents are just putting this information out.
And what's the point in doing that? Because isn't that just
Attention.
a direct reflection
Attention.
of you?
It is a direct reflection of them, but it's attention.
Yeah.
People love getting attention. That's why that one person you know at school who's always sick, or the one teacher who always leg hurts or something because they're just looking for attention. People love to have attention, the spotlight on them, so they put out outrageous information about their personal life on social media platforms to get people aroused.
Well, thinking they're getting them aroused.
There are a level
Yeah.
of group who do get
Oh,
aroused.
yeah.
Like, that's why you see Brown go on Town Chatters. It's the most wildest place on earth is Town Chatters.
Yeah, Danville chatter. Yeah. Okay, so this last question is kind of a Tim Ferriss type question.
Yeah.
And so basically, at the end of your life, everything that you've created, all the pieces of content you've put out, it all has to go with you. And all your accomplishments, everything is going with you to the grave. And you have to leave one thing written on a notepad of what you want the world to remember you by, or like one piece of advice, whatever it is. What would that one thing be?
that I want the world to remember me by. It's written.
Yep, it's like a piece of advice that they're going to remember Zach Homol. Zach Homol did this, impacted us in this way.
Win the day.
Win the day.
Yeah. I want people to know me by that.
It's awesome.
I want people to know me that because it's not an action, but it's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's understanding win the day. Win the day is not an action. I win every day. That doesn't mean that I've actually accomplished the things I wanted to accomplish within the day. It means that I've fought back the demons and the sins that I wanted to do throughout the day, the things that could have derailed me from my mission. I stayed true to myself, and I stayed true to my mission. It was a mindset. I stayed positive. Whenever I spilled the coffee on my pants, I could have said, hey, it's a bad day now since I spilled coffee, but I decided that was just a part of my day. Winning the day is a mindset, not an action. So if I could leave that behind to teach people and to tell people that if you believe that you're winning within your mind, you will start manifesting that into your reality. Your reality will be winning if you manifest those thoughts in your mind. If you see that coffee spill on you is not a big situation, it's just part of it. You can begin to think that way in a positive manner. Use your adversity as growing.
Puts things into perspective.
I think it does. It changes perspective as well. Mm-hmm. We view adversity as, why me? I'm going through this again. Is life ever going to get easier for me?
Those people that always have something to complain or bitch about.
Adversity is life's resistance. Just as the gym weights resist our body and it tears down our muscles. When it tears us down, it breaks us down, and then our muscles grow after being broke down. Life will give us adversity that breaks us down, that's going to grow us in our future. So everything we're going through should be used for something in the future. So all of my hurt and all my pain and all my bad situations throughout my life, I've taken them and I've bowed them up into balls, and I've been able to throw that information back to people to help them through different seasons that they're at in their life.
I think that's one of the best things that you do as a person, Zach, is how you see someone going through the rough time or something that you've gone through, because you've gone through a lot, and you can always give some. Not always, but the majority of the time, it can always give some piece of advice to help them push through that hard time, keep their head up. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's something, man. I try to focus on Jesus. Part about Jesus wept, so Jesus wept with them. I try to think like that, man. Like whenever people are going through hard times, even if I'm having a bad day, I have this on probably in every other week, if not once a month. Someone comes in the gym and they're just crying. They walk up to me, and I'm like kind of like everyone's homie or big brother or whatever it looks like, and they'll just come up and start talking to me, and they just break down. Mm-hmm. I've had training sessions where I've hugged 350-pound guys who can squat 950 pounds. We just hug and cried on the bench while we're working through things in life. It's just I feel like just being there for people, and not even to offer. Sometimes, like you said, not even need to offer advice, just to be there to listen to people for where they're at. Just be genuinely there. Sometimes people just need that because there's no one else. Everyone else is just skeletons to them.
Yeah.
Because they're just waiting for the next thing to say to them or whatever it is, just to be there and just to listen to people when they need. And, and I think I fall into that category a lot because I'm the one who kind of pushes people to be more as well, because I find that little piece of positivity within them, and I try to exemplify it. And I think the counterpart of that is to also be there when people need me in their all-time lows. And I speak so much about lows because I feel like there's such pivotal moments in people's lives. I've watched lows in my parents' life that's changed them for the better forever. I've watched lows in my uncle's life that's led him to overdose on drugs and to not be with us anymore. So I've seen pivotal moments in people's lives, in that if someone was there to change that, they could have changed the course of their life forever. Mm-hmm. So I just want to be there when they're pivoting. I ain't got to do much. I just got to tell you you're great, tell you you're going to get through this, cry with you if you need me, hug you if you need me, whatever it might be, just to shift you back on that road again. And so you can just do it on your own, because that's what you have to do. You have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
But whenever someone's there to show you your strengths in those moments, man, it's a lot easier to breathe easy.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about Zach is, like, he really does mean it and means what he says. You can feel a sense of the energy from him, that it's real, that he really genuinely cares.
It's funny, when you talk about energy, sometimes people are like, what are you talking about? I mean, you can't feel it. Like when you go into like the Indy 500, you feel that like,
you're alive.
It's alive. It's a feeling. And wrapping this whole thing up, man, about being alive. You know what I mean? You see people who walk around. How many people are actually alive? I also have a question that I like to ask people in return, and I like to ask this a lot, especially to people that I train with and that I train online. I said, how much of your life is being consumed by chasing a comfortable life? And I'd like everyone to answer that question. How much of your life is being consumed with chasing a comfortable life? Think about it. Anything else, Alex?
Wow, that's hit on everything.
That was cool.
Thank you, Zach.
It's a little bit different format. I really like this.
Yeah, I do too.
This is my third cup of coffee today, so I really don't know what I said. I blacked out.
Just zoning.
So we'll keep this thing going for a second. Alex, let's talk a little bit more about just, this is obviously going to be a podcast. So how's training been going? I know you're now doing strongman, obviously, because we're all doing strongman. So you're a boy amongst men. 18 years old and lifting weights lifting cars, literally.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's so I always tell the story when people ask, how'd you get into strongman? Because it is kind of a unique thing. It's not something that there's a lot of people involved in powerlifting. There's not a lot of many people involved lifting the weird implements that we do as strongman. And, that comes with a gym that provides that equipment for you and whatnot. But one time, me, Zach, and Dylan, and maybe one other person, we were about to train, and Zach looks at us and he goes, "You guys want to do a strongman competition?" We're like, "Sure." He goes, "All right, it's in 4 weeks." So,
what do you think, like, when I say that?
Yeah, I'm just ready to go. Like,
there's not even a hesitation.
Yeah, no, it's all right, cool, better learn. And it's funny, like 2 weeks before the comp, I passed out doing a stoned overhead.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
I forgot that was only
wobbled
2 weeks
backwards, and a little piece of the concrete in the gym that's not matted, or wasn't matted at the time, my head smacked on it, and woke up to Zach, "Hey, you good?" And, but yeah, so I rested that week, and then we competed the next.
Yeah,
but,
so you had like 2 weeks of training.
Yeah.
Because you got knocked out.
Yeah.
You knocked yourself out, yeah.
But it's, I tell people it's one of the coolest communities I've ever been a part of.
Isn't it?
I mean, we go to these competitions, and instead of everyone sitting in a corner, staying to themselves, the earbuds in, it's people are open, they're talking, trying to give you tips and advice. You're asking, how are you going to attack this implement, or how are you going to do this
everyone's
event?
coaching each other.
Yeah.
Like your competitors. I remember a competition that we went to in downstate Kentucky, and I'm competing against these guys. I actually had Tyler on my podcast, which is one of the guys who beat me, and then Wes. And as we're going through it, I'm like, I never done this lift before. And they're like showing me how, like, dude, do it like this and try this. And they're cheering me on, like, as we're all competing for first, second, and third. It's just a different, like, and everyone's mindset is, well, yeah, if I can get you to go faster, then I'll have to go faster. Mm-hmm. And I can set a new personal record. And I'm like, this is the way it should be.
And it's hard to believe, like, from an outside looking in that, they're just bluffing. Like, this isn't really how it is. But no, this really is how it is.
It's different. It's a whole different world. It's super cool, and I think that at some more competitive levels, it might become a little bit more, competitive, if you will. But you see it at pretty much every level. I mean, at the World's Strongest Man, you see guys hollering for each other and stuff. So it's really cool. It's a really neat community. But man, we've grown a ton off that style of training.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, dude! Like, it's a whole different style of training. I always thought that the bench press was the number one strength movement, like to show a human strength when it came to upper body. Now I'm just like, it got to be log press, even over like that, because it's just such a big, heavy, awkward implement to move.
You're leaning back, your head's all the way back, like you're trying to touch your forehead on the ground, pressing up through.
So some exercises Alex struggles with a little bit more than others when it comes to the strongman, like stones, for instance, like kick his ass. It's kind of hilarious because he's strong as fuck, and his stones don't add up to the weight he should be actually lifting. Like, because he's deadlifting 550, mid fives, and doing how much on a stone? 260?
260 was a PR in the comp.
Which is great, which is huge. Like, 260 stone at 18 years old or 180 pounds is badass. Don't get me wrong. But, of course, we expect 300. Because Alex is my training partner. He's the only one does Tanner do 300?
I don't
What
think
a puss.
You probably can't get over his belly.
Probably, dude. We got to get him on and fucking lean him out a little bit. He's grinding everything out too much. So, anyways, when it comes to the stones, though, Alex struggles a little bit with having, like, I call it, like, you enter these man strength phases. So, like, I remember around, like, 19, 20, maybe even 21-ish. It's probably around 20, 21, to be honest. And I kind of hit this, like, groove, I just got way stronger. And it was like a glimpse of like my man strength. And I felt like I hit it again around 27. Like this last year, I've really just moved some. Like I pulled 650 for a triple the other day, first time sumo in forever. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I feel like you hit these different strength gains, but it's neat to watch it because you're fighting so hard for it. And I just remember being there and like, how the fuck can I do a 400-pound good morning, but I can't pick up a 260-pound stone?
I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? But the stone's obviously a much harder movement.
Yeah.
But it's like it's that gripping power. It's the accessory movements that are built up over time.
Yeah.
Like we're both the same weight, essentially. Mm-hmm. You're taller than me even. Yeah. But it's like I look like way more thicker than you from all the density I built, and like, but you have a lot of muscle mass. So you'll far surpass me. But there's even guys that like are 220 that look smaller than me because of how the muscle mass is distributed and put on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how mature the muscle is.
And you talk about going through the strength waves coming and going. And I remember in elementary school, I wanted the Presidential Fitness Award, and it was the pull-ups that I couldn't do. So I remember every night I'd either rig a band up or I'd have my parents hold my legs, and I'd do pull-ups on the pull-up bar every single night until I could do them. You know, just because my lats hadn't really developed yet.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
The strength wasn't in yet.
Yeah.
And so I knew that I had to work extra hard to be able to get it so I could get the Presidential Award. But,
isn't that crazy you started that young?
Yeah.
For you?
Well, that's like my dad instilled it in me because, we started off with a dumbbell set and a bench in my basement. And then, I'd go down there and mess around like fourth grade or whatever and train with my dad, and then slowly picked up into it more and more. And then going into seventh grade year, I trained at this sports complex down the road, actually. And that's where I learned basic body movement.
And they taught you really well.
Yeah.
Because when you came to the gym, you were really like, I'm like, oh, this kid actually like, you knew how to squat. You knew how to deadlift. And
I remember doing the 1,000 reps of just body weight squats.
That makes sense. And your positioning wasn't that bad, though. Yeah. Like, you didn't even have that bad of a positioning.
Mm-hmm. And so I got into more of a serious side, going into seventh grade year. And Tommy and I, it's kind of funny because Tommy had an older brother who played on the football team. So Tommy and I, in sixth grade, used to go and train with the high school football team. And then we just carried that on into seventh and then eighth grade. And then, obviously on until our senior year. But
here you guys are.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are back.
We're back.
The team. Tommy, we're going to miss you when you leave, dude.
Yeah.
I'll miss it here.
All right, we ain't going to miss you that much. Come on.
Actually, so Tommy and I, every night we'd go and lift with the football team, and then he'd come over, or we'd go home and eat, whatever. Then he'd come over and we left to get in my basement. Not, like really serious, just down there dicking around, getting it in, pumping, whatever. But, yep, that's how it all started.
Well, Alex, I appreciate you being on the podcast. I'm losing my attention span because I can think about training.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do legs today, so.
Got it.
You didn't do them yesterday, did you?
No.
All right, good. We'll do them today. Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Zach Homol Show. This was a cool podcast today. I was excited to get Alex on. I'm going to start bringing Alex on as the third person on my podcast a little bit more often this summer. Alex will actually be going to Butler University, which is located right here in Broad Ripple. So he has a lot of cool things coming up for his future and is so close to me. We're going to be able to do a lot of cool production stuff together. Mm-hmm. But, guys, stay tuned for the next episode. It's looking like I'm going to be dropping quite a few a week moving forward. I'm going to work on my radio voice.